Yoga-yogeshwaraya Bhuta-bhuta-bhuteshwaraya Kala-kala-kaleshwaraya Shiva-Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho महादेवाय
झूठड़ी छे माया काची छे काया धारी काची छे काया धारी काची छे काया धारी काची छे काया धारी झूठड़ी छे माया राम झूठड़ा सा लेख लिखाया राम झूठड़ा सा लेख लिखाया राम कांची हो कौन घड़ेगी थारी काया जी कांची हो झूठड़ी छे माया राम झूठड़ा सा लेख लिखाया राम झूठड़ा सा लेख लिखाया राम कांची ओ कौन ढड़ेगी थारी काया जी कांची हो झूठड़ी छे माया राम झूठड़ा सा लेख लिखाया राम कांची हो कौन घड़ेगी थारी काया जी कांची हो कौन घड़ेगी थारी काया जी सकल हंस में राम बिराजे, सकल हंस में राम बिराजे। अरे राम बिना रे कोई धाम नहीं, यहाँ राम बिना रे कोई धाम नहीं। हाँ, सब ब्रह्मांड में ज्योत का वासा, राम को सुमिरो ने दूजा नहीं। हाँ, सब ब्रह्मांड में ज्योत का वासा, राम को सुमिरो ने दूजा नहीं। हाँ, तीन गुण पर तेज हमारा, हाँ, तीन गुण पर तेज हमारा। पांच तत्व पर ज्योत जले, यहाँ पांच तत्व पर ज्योत जले। हाँ, जिनका उजाला 14 लोक में, सूरत डोर आकाश चढ़े। हाँ, जिनका उजाला 14 लोक में, सूरत डोर आकाश चढ़े। नाभि कमल से परख लेना, हाँ, नाभि कमल से परख लेना। अरे हृदय कमल बिच फिरे मणि, यहाँ हृदय कमल बिच फिरे मणि। हाँ, अनहद बाजा बाजे शहर में, और ब्रह्मांड पर आवाज हुई। हाँ, अनहद बाजा बाजे शहर में, ब्रह्मांड पर आवाज हुई। हीरा जो मोती लाल जवाहरत, अरे प्रेम पढ़ा रथ पर खो यही, यहाँ प्रेम पढ़ा रथ पर खो यही। साचा मोती सुमर लेना, राम धन से मारी डोर लगी। साचा मोती सुमर लेना, राम धन से मारी डोर लगी। साचा मोती सुमर लेना, राम धन से मारी डोर लगी।
Namaskaram. Namaskaram, all of you. Well, the virus continues to spread and also continues to reveal newer aspects of what it can do. Many things are coming out which makes it far more complicated than what we thought was just a respiratory infection. Well, we still don't have a full picture. What are we fighting? So the best way is not to meet him for some time. By the time we have to meet him, at least we must have a full picture, what it can do and what it cannot do. Because people are dying of cardiac arrest, People are dying of strokes, people are dying of fibrosis in the lungs, pneumonia, and failure of immune system, variety of things, all instigated by the virus. So, the best thing that all of us can do right now is, don't meet him. Somewhere in the next few months we may have to meet him, but by then we may have a better picture of what we are meeting or confronting. Right now we don't have enough picture. And United States goes on, 43,000 deaths, I think over 750,000 infections. At the same time, a whole lot of people who believe virus is just a myth, it's just in your mind. It must be in their mind, I can see that. Nearly 200,000 people dead across the world, and you think it's in somebody's mind. Well, this is a serious situation because people are coming out on the streets in United States and saying, I need a haircut, I can't stay at home anymore, I need a haircut. Well, unfortunately, it's not just in any one country. Anywhere in the world, unfortunately we have seen this at all times in history. Those who became affluent for 2-3 generations at a stretch became a terribly frivolous population. It looks like only crisis, struggle keeps human beings reasonably focused on something. It's so unfortunate. Well-being, most people don't know how to handle it. Sustained well-being is generally been a disaster for most civilizations in the world, not today, for always. This is what we need to change, that even if there is sustained well-being, we will still be well, we will not mess ourselves up. In many ways, at least certain parts of this culture demonstrated that in the past, because material affluence was always woven with spiritual practices and spiritual awareness. Because of that, people remained stable. Only now it is changing in this generation, otherwise just 25-30 years ago, if you went to places where the richest people are meeting in this country, you would see, except the ladies, the men were always in whites, simple whites, top, bottom, both white. Even today in Tamil Nadu, to some extent this is true. If you go to a wedding, outside you see, Bentleys, Mercedeses and BMWs all parked. And of course, there are a lot of two-wheelers and TVS moped, of course. If you go inside, at least the men's segment, you can't make out who came by Bentley, who came by TVS moped, because both will be dressed the same way. You cannot make out. Ladies, by the weight of jewelry they're carrying on their neck, you can make out, maybe this is a rich person, this is a poor person, but among the men you just can't make out because everybody is in whites, the same starched white shirt and white dhoti. Because being wealthy is one thing, But flaunting it in somebody's face and making them feel less than yourself was considered obscene. Never anybody spoke about wealth when they meet. But these days, things are changing rapidly everywhere in the world and also in India. But for long periods of time, generations of people maintained enormous wealth, but still because of their spiritual awareness, wealth did not distort them. This is very important because never before were we able to create wealth for as many people as it's possible today. In the past, the wealthy were very small number. Today, the number of people who can afford many things, the number has increased. Well, still unfortunately a lot of people are left out of it, that's a different matter, but still, more people have access to more money and more wealth and more aspects of life than ever before in the history of humanity. So at a time like this, if our material development, material well-being and wealth is not woven with spiritual awareness, well, this will not work in our favor. Even here, it's being very strongly demonstrated. Close by, within 60 kilometers, there is a town called Tirupur. Of course, right now they're in a little bit of a depression mode. But otherwise, in this town, even a regular labor, menial jobs, they're earning 2 to 3 times more than what they would earn in Coimbatore city, because this is a completely export-oriented town and everybody has a company of their own, hosiery town it is. There is wealth. So out of that, what is the consequence? One thing is, some 42% of the male population is diabetic because of the wealth. Another thing is, both men and women generally, they're trying to get into the shape of the planet. Yesterday was Earth Day, so they're working in that direction. And about few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, we found that of all the alcohol, like this was at the Diwali time, of all the alcohol sold in Tamil Nadu, nearly 70% was consumed by this one town. So if you get wealthy, you will either end up in the hospital or in the gutter. Yes. So if this is what wealth is going to do, definitely it's not a good thing. Wealth should bring well-being, because from poverty to affluence, whether it is in the life of an individual person or a society or a nation, it is a struggle. There's a lot of hard work, many unpleasant things you have to go through to move from poverty to affluence. It doesn't just come easy. After getting there, all you do is end up in the hospital or in the gutter. What is the point of this? The entire struggle is meaningless. Now the next generation will not even seek success if this is what you display. It is very important that every generation must display that material well-being has brought them ease, well-being, health, intelligence, talent, above all, a beautiful way of living. If a generation does not display this, then the next generation will start going down. So in many ways this is happening in the world. I think as in the last century, in the last 100 years, anything good or bad, the lead usually taken by United States of America. So, United States of America, the younger generation is displaying how all of us can be lost in a bottle or in a pill. People are dying, even now people are dying of overdoses and things like this. And one of the most ordered things in this e-commerce is supposed to be all legalized drugs and intoxicants. Well, here we are fighting to see that people don't starve to death. But now they're coming out, protesting, hundreds of them coming out, protesting on the streets. Who are you to ask us to stay home? Government has no power. We will exercise our First Amendment and Second Amendment, that we will do what we want to do. There are higher powers who will take care of us. We don't need doctors, we don't need scientists, all rubbish, this virus. There is a higher power which will take care of us, and we want to have a haircut. You never had a haircut, huh? Good, like me you are. So that's how frivolous it's becoming. If we don't see certain things ahead of time, we end up in a disaster. So Shankaran Pillai was living in San Francisco. And his friend looked at a boat which was all smashed up and asked, "Isn't this your uncle's boat?" Said, "Yeah, it was my uncle's boat." "What happened? What happened to your uncle?" Then Shankaran Pillai asked, "You know, when you're approaching the Golden Gate Bridge, have you seen that big rock?" Said, "Yeah, I've seen that." Well, he didn't see it. You don't see certain things, it can be a disaster. So right now, it is paramount because we have no idea what this virus fellow is. So the only thing we can do is, we don't meet him. Everybody strive not to meet him. That is the simplest thing we can do. Right now, that's all we have done. By controlling human behavior, we are managing it. We have not controlled the virus in any way. So everybody is lauding India for its leadership in handling virus with such a dense population, mainly because of very rigidly controlling human behavior. All of you, last 15 days, surviving on just pumpkin and yam and and some beans, no vegetables, no fruits. That's why not one of us have an issue. If everyday trucks move up and down, then things will happen. So when the relaxation happens on 3rd of May, the good news is it's going to be partial relaxation. I don't think we can afford to completely relax. Relaxation will be partial both geographically and also in terms of activity. Some things will be relaxed, some things will not be relaxed. And some parts of the country will be relaxed, some parts of the country will not be relaxed. All those areas which have been marked as red zones right now, I don't think they can afford to relax that. If they relax that, they will give it to all of us. So here also, there are some people who are managed by from some other place. Those people are going berserk, attacking the doctors, attacking the police. As all of you know, new ordinance has been brought in to deal with that, but still it's happening. It's incredible. In 21st century, where most people have at least gone till maybe 5th standard, and most other people have at least gone to 10th standard, who know some basics of some kind of science in their head. At a time like this, when nearly 200,000 people fall dead in strange ways, still you can't convince the idiots that there is a genuine problem. Thanks to human intelligence.
This question is from Siddharaj. Namaskaram Sadhguru. Devi is a manifestation of divine and you said many Devi temples all over the world were destroyed. I would like to know, why was Devi not able to protect herself?
Oh. Well, yes, it is a fact that the worship of the divine in the feminine form was hugely prevalent in the present-day Europe, Arabia, Central Asia, all these places. But it has managed to live only in this part of Asia still. In other places, it's been violently uprooted. Well, maybe a better documented version of uprooting the divine feminine is, all of you have definitely heard of, witch hunting. That term is still being used today. If something unfairly, somebody is being hunted, we say witch hunt. This comes from the term during the time of the Crusades. It is estimated they burnt over 6 million women alive over a period of probably 150 years or 200 years, I'm not very sure about that. But over a period of time, those crusade period, when somebody was very ambitiously spreading their religion, this is what happened. These women who were burnt like this, and many were simply burnt for various other reasons, but it was all just label somebody a witch, that's it, people will burn them down. Even today this practice is still there, unfortunately here and there. So who is a witch? In some way, when a woman displays, she's capable of doing something or knowing something beyond childbearing and cooking, she's a witch. Yes, that's how it was. So generally, the Devi temples always spawned women who are capable of other things. Right now we are breeding a new culture of Bairaginis and Devi sadhakas. The idea is to not just have red devils walking around in the ashram. The idea is, slowly divinity walks around. They may take their time, but gradually to produce what you considered as divine, which you enshrine, must live with legs. So, the divine feminine has been uprooted simply because the Abrahamic way of religious process is purely male-oriented, it's completely masculine. There is no room for feminine to be anywhere there. It's God and His Son, it's God and His messengers, all male messengers, never female, because they're not reliable. They may say something else, because they may know something else, that's the problem. So, because of this, in Arabia, in Europe, in Central Asia, a lot of destruction happened. But there is not a single village in entire India without a Devi temple. And when I went to Somnath temple, it was destroyed 17 times over by a certain kind of warlord from Afghanistan. 17 times he makes this trip, which is over probably 1500 kilometers. He makes this trip just to destroy this temple. First time I can understand, because there was wealth, there was gold and stuff. All right, he looted it, destroyed it, burnt it down and went. Why come second time? Maybe little more wealth. But after that, there was no wealth because people just put up small things. but he came 17 times and destroyed. So I was inquiring, what is it? The thing was, those three goddesses that they talk about in Arabia, pre-Islamic era, one of those goddesses, one of the deities, some devotee carried it from there and established it in the Somnath temple as a consort of Shiva. So they wanted to destroy that goddess. So the guy makes a 1400 kilometer trip 17 times on a horseback to destroy her. That is how important it is to destroy a woman in this world. That's how important it is. Because if you empower the feminine, then all the silly laws all the silly ideologies, laws of heaven and nonsense that you've created, all that will collapse. I will not go into the mechanics of how it'll collapse, but think through this. Suppose you accepted a woman as a god. Suddenly, going somewhere and living well will go away, because that's not the nature of the feminine. It is always masculine. He wants to go somewhere and then live well. At least to another place in this country, or another continent in this planet, or another galaxy, or another dimension called heaven, paradise, whatever you want to call it. This is a man's thing, he wants to go somewhere and then live well. He can't live well here, this is his problem. This is a huge masculine problem, that he cannot live well here. If you look at the male and female, you will see the feminine always wants to settle down, wherever little comfort, settle down and live well. Man wants to climb the mountain and settle down on the other side. This side of the mountain is not okay for him. So, if you made a male god and a female god and they were together like Shiva, Parvati, something, you will not want to go anywhere. Even Shiva settled down in Kashi because of Parvati. He's a wanderer. But during the winter months after he got married, he found she was finding it very difficult to be in high altitude in Himalayas. For her sake, he came down to Kashi, but then he also started liking it so much. For a long time, he did not go back. So, feminine always brings settling down. Masculine wants to propel somewhere. That propelling, too much propelling. We need some propelling, of course. Too much propelling is causing enormous destruction on all levels of life. Today, a whole lot of people have started philosophizing only because we overdid our economy, viruses come to neutralize our economy. I am not saying that. This is not the way to balance our economy or our activity. There are more sensible ways to do this. And one important way to do it is empower the feminine. You will see in many ways this propulsion will come down a little bit. Either you must be inward-oriented, then you can sit here. Or you are in some way bound to a woman, then you will sit here. Otherwise, single man, can't control him, he's all the time on. If you are inward-oriented, very effortlessly you will sit, otherwise a woman can tie you down. In many ways, the economy and the destruction of the planet has still not gone to that place where it's not irreversible, simply because most men still need a woman. Very few men who can live without a woman. They are either ascetics, so no problem, or they are super ambitious tyrants, they are a problem. Yes. So, has Devi been destroyed? Well, I'm telling you, she's all over this country, in every village. There may be no temple for a male god in a village, but always there is a temple for a Devi. No Tamil Nadu village is without Mariamman. No Karnataka village is without Mari. Here, there she is Mari, here she is Mariamman, somewhere else she is Kali. She is good at taking on lots of names. So, why couldn't she take care of herself? This is the nature of a woman, that if it's getting too ugly, she won't be there. She will go and settle where it's conducive. That's exactly what she's done. We must take care of her. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadeva